So moving somewhere, moving abroad or relocating around the world can be so exciting, but one thing that doesn't get spoken about is how weird it is at first and how you can get like a disrupted feeling, or let's say you know it's somewhere that you're like, this isn't for me. Processing that and trying to just ride it out is a hidden hurdle. So today I'm going to go through the places that felt like that for me in the last year of traveling that I've been doing around the world, and how I overcame them on my own, being in such a strange place that just didn't feel settling for me. And obviously I've been to places as well that I immediately just fell into it and was like, oh, this is easy, this is comfortable. You know, you just go with it and it seems very easy and you just feel a calm energy from it. And then there was others where I just felt disrupted, disturbed. I just wasn't settling and couldn't wait to leave, which is sounds so ungrateful going on my travels. So first example, I'm gonna say UAE. I did really enjoy Abu Dhabi more than Dubai. And the reason I've picked this as a place that was weird at first when I arrived, because I know it's a very cover-up type culture, which fair enough, I planned my outfits to be covered up. Although a lot of places in public, you're quite okay to have your shoulders out. A lot of the time I wore like a Bardo top with trousers because it was so unbelievably hot, obviously. It's like 46 degrees, I think, when I was there. And yeah, it was the way I normally am around public and strangers and stuff. I'm very just like smiley. If someone passes me, you're probably gonna get a smile off me. And I thought to myself, how does that go down in culture out here? Like I didn't want to be that way, even though it was normal to me. I wasn't sure how that landed with men or with women in burqas. I didn't know the cultural respect of how to interact in public. I was a bit unsure of that. So I found myself not smiling at people in case it landed the wrong way or it gave a message that I didn't know it was going to give. So that was a bit weird. And I guess that's not something I wanted to trust with AI, asking that question, because I feel like you need to ask a local. You need to ask someone that's lived here for long enough to know how tourists are expected to behave or what's normal and what's not. It was a strange feeling to be, do I smile or do I not? I just didn't know. I didn't know what to do. So if they smiled and approached and it was one of those kind of conversations, then of course I was smiley and friendly. But just walking past people, for example, that's somewhere that I would just naturally smile if eye contact was made, just out of politeness and respect, really. But you just don't know how that's going to land to certain cultures. Bali was somewhere that I imagine everyone in this world that's been to Bali can fall straight in and feel relaxed and feel settled and safe and happy, and that just gives all round goodness. I just love that place so much. I will always big it up. Although it's again very culturally different, they have so many beautiful ways of respecting their culture. Like I just find it so wholesome. The way they bless the statues most days, like it's routine. The way they put the little trays out in front of property or anywhere that you live and sleep, it's to protect you from bad spirits. Like the discipline of doing those all the time throughout the day, I just love that. Like that's what's important to them, and that is a given in everyday life for them. It will always be done. I didn't feel weird at all in Bali. I felt very settled very quickly. Hence why I spent most of my interval periods in Bali last year. Another one that I felt uncomfortable, but I don't know why, is Cambodia. I can't pinpoint what it is. It was honestly like something was just in the air. I just didn't feel settled or as safe as what I felt in other countries. There was no evidence to why. That was just how it was feeling within me. And I was almost like, I can't wait to go to the next place. Can't wait to leave here. So yeah, that was a strange one, because I can't actually give you, nothing happened for me to feel that way. I just landed and just did not settle, did not fit. Yeah, it was weird. Another one that I didn't feel settled in was Sri Lanka. Didn't feel safe in the slightest. And even covered up walking around the streets, there was men undressing me with their eyes and making it very obvious that that is what they were doing. You know, the way they were talking and the way they were mumbling things at me, or grouped together watching me for a long period of time with just a really unappealing look on their face. Like, that was just, really did not like it in Sri Lanka at all. And yet my friend went, she was traveling around the same time as me. She went and absolutely loved Sri Lanka, but she went with her husband and two children. So different dynamic. I experienced it entirely different because I was solo female. Yeah, was not good. Felt very weird, felt very unsafe, and I could not wait to leave. Thankfully, the stop after Sri Lanka for me was Maldives, which I loved. That was so divine. Another one I felt a bit unsure on, but I really did enjoy, was Mauritius. And the reason I felt unsure on it was because I don't really know many people that have been. It's not really somewhere that I've heard, especially Brits, go to Mauritius often. I don't know anyone that's been to Mauritius, if I'm honest. So it was a very much, what am I going to experience here? It looks beautiful, but being there and living in it is obviously different to what you see online. So again, I couldn't really gauge from anyone else what I was about to experience. The other thing I thought was quite cool is the population in Mauritius is pretty much 50-50 Africans, Indians, which I thought was pretty cool. It was just a nice mix of culture. And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by Mauritius. And although it's a small island, I do wish I saw more of it. It was just a bit costly with the transport. I chose to do taxis. So I guess if I'd have figured out a better way to do it, or renting a car, for example, then I probably would have got about a bit better. That, I think, somewhere that I would go with my partner when I have one. But for female solo, yeah, it was nice, but I wish I'd have done it differently. But beautiful, beautiful place. Yeah, and I think as well, the other thing that's not really discussed around travel is every time you get to a new destination, regardless of how you think you've mapped it out, you've still got to get your bearings when you get there. You've got to figure out your transport options. You've got to figure out what's near you and how you get to it, and the things that you need, like groceries or restaurants, cafes, bars, whatever you're going for. You've got to get all of that into like a bit of a routine, so that you think, right, okay, I wake up tomorrow and I'm going to go here and I'm going to have a venture around and have a look and figure it out. And sorting out your transport. If you get in a car, you've got to speak to a car company to try and get that arranged. And yeah, there was a lot. The only places that I've rented a car is Dubai. Where else? I don't think there was anywhere else. Because obviously Thailand, Cambodia, Laos was a push bike. But Thailand, Cambodia and Bali was all on a motorbike. Sri Lanka I didn't do much, but it was a tuk-tuk. Maldives didn't go anywhere, stayed on this island and just did boat trips. So yeah, I've only really took private transport, taxi in Mauritius, or my own car in Dubai. So I guess it's figuring that out, which one works best. Everything in Dubai is so far away. You think it's all really close and it looks like it's this far apart on a map. But honestly, to get from like, I think it's Golden Beach, up to like the downtown area, you're talking an hour in the car. And you're like, what? What do you mean it's that far away? Luckily, the taxiing is quite cheap in UAE. But to have the freedom of just being like, get up and go, rather than wait for somebody to pick you up, I chose to rent a car. And I'm glad I did, because the roads in Dubai were the biggest challenge of my year. Crazy. You've also got the trusting of strangers every place you turn up. You've got to trust new people. You've got to just hope that they're nice people to help you. Looking for, a tourist needs help, you're just hoping you get the right answer. So yeah, those were the other things that were not difficult, but just something to be mindful of when you are traveling and going to all these new places. You've got to start again with all your finding your bearings and trusting strangers and hoping for the best. One thing I did learn though was to get better with my judgment. So early on, I would make an initial judgment on a place within a day or two of being there. Then when I was traveling solo, and this was a repeat pattern, I need to go to places and I need to give it time, and some places I didn't fit in with, and I did learn to be a bit better at not judging off the first day of arrival, because you've got the backlog of your stress from your travels or your disruption in your nervous system. You need to get like a calm, let's sleep good tonight, assess tomorrow kind of plan. That worked for me to make more level-headed decisions rather than, I don't like it here, this is my decision. So it did help a lot of the uncomfortable feelings that I felt throughout the settling in periods. So yeah, I would say the adjusting to locations when you're doing your travels is more about how you can just fit into it best you can, rather than what the place doesn't do for you or doesn't tick your boxes in. Having a bit more patience with, that's okay, I'm not suited here, this isn't really for me, but let's make the best out of this whilst I'm here for this time. That kind of mindset's really helped me. But when you're alone and you're traveling, you've kind of got to just get on with it. So yeah, big lessons in all of it, but these are the things that I think are worth talking about and sharing when adjusting to new locations. So again, if you like content like this, or you find things I say resonate with you, then hit the subscribe button. Hopefully you drop me a comment if anything's come to mind whilst watching this video, and I will speak to you soon.